Dom, it's so great to be with you today. You've had fantastic success growing companies like Rackspace and Peer One. You're a global expert in scaling up and coaching so many high growth technology companies.
Ethan, it's lovely to be here today with you. You have spent 10 years crafting your art around helping purpose-driven CEOs to have more impact in the world. It's great to be here with you today.
Thank you, Dom. Why is it so important for a CEO to over-communicate?
I think there are two things. When I used to be a judge on some assessment awards, and I'd go in and I'd see employees, and there's two things that nobody's ever complained about. One, they've never complained that people have praised them too much for doing a good job. And the other one is they've never complained that people have told them what's going on here too much. And so I think CEOs should do as much communication as they possibly can in a transparent way. You know, my view is you default to everything is shareable, the salaries, everything, but you know, people might wind back from that. And you do it enough until people complain. And then if people are complaining, you've done enough, but you'll never get there. It's okay.
Yeah, I like to say if the CEO is being made fun of, some of these key points are starting to resonate with the team, that most leaders need to hear something 7 times before it really sinks in. And during the pandemic right now, that number may be closer to 70. And so the CEO just holding that space to over communicate, here's where we're going, here are the wins along the way, that helps to align the entire team. And especially if they're getting exposed to negative media, other things all around them, that CEO becomes such a grounding, centering force for the team. That's really important at many levels.
So I was chatting to Horst Schultz, the founder of Ritz-Carlton Hotel Group, on the podcast. And he was saying one of the things that they would do in their daily huddles is to read one of the 24 service mantras that they'd written. Somebody reads it out, and then somebody reflects on it and says, oh, I caught you doing that recently. And that repetition, as you say, at least 7 times, you know, so whether it be catching people doing the right thing by core values, unless you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, it just doesn't sink in.
People remember stories, especially stories with emotion. They're so powerful. What are some of the mistakes that you see CEOs making around communication, Dom?
I think not doing it regularly enough, or doing it on email. And so, you know, either doing it all hands pre-COVID, or doing it, you know, I worked with a client in Australia a couple of years ago, and he would be interviewed on the couch on a Friday. And I interviewed Simon Bitliff, actually, and he got to the point where his team started doing the weekly communication because they said they'd had enough of him. And so I guess that's where the team have said, look, we've had enough of you, let's do it ourselves. But I thought that was perfect, because he'd now built a strong enough culture that the team felt able to replace him.
That's a fantastic example, Dom. One tool that we found works really well is an app called loom.com, where you can record a video. If you're the CEO and want to make a 5-minute video, in 10 minutes, literally, you can record the video and have it distributed out to your entire team. And they're getting to see you. They're getting to see your face. They're getting to see your emotion. And that's so important. I couldn't agree more that email is a good place to start that communication, but everything's going to video, and really use video right now.
It's a good tip. Thank you very much for chatting with me today about communication.
Thank you, Dom, for sharing your great insights.